Okay, 20th of September 2019. My brand new used BR740A. The pickup feeder had a problem. I'll show you that. So when I got this, I thought I noticed a wobble here in the PTO shaft. Well, I didn't think, I did notice. Bought this used from my local New Holland dealer, and they assured me that the PTO shaft wasn't bent. However, I had to cut the shielding away because they said it was the shielding that was bent, because I was having a wobble in the machine. And so I straightened the PTO shaft out pretty decent, got rid of the wobble at low RPMs, but at high RPMs there's a pretty good wobble. Isolated it to the pickup, so it's basically kind of a cam that these tine bars on this pickup. This is the 1.5 meter wide pickup. I guess this machine also has a 1.8 meter pickup. So basically, tine bars are pieces of angle iron, and they mount to, I think they call this like a cam follower or something. And these are the pieces here that go through this cam follower like that, and tine bars bolt onto it right here with 3 bolts. And this is what happened. This one piece right here wallowed right out. What I find interesting, there's no bushing. It's just metal on metal. You know, metal on metal. This is the piece that was in here. Okay, you can see that getting ready to crack. So I got a new one. It was under 200 bucks, which actually I thought New Holland was going to give me a special New Holland price. And there's another one on this other on the other side. Tine bars mount up to it just a little bit different. They just go through it like that. So yeah, basically sits on this octagonal shaft. There is it's a grooved pin, not a roll pin, but it's a solid pin with a groove you pound out, and it goes in right here, and that's where these wheels, these cam followers they call them, sit on both sides. But yeah, just metal on metal. These seem relatively tight enough. So it's just that one piece. Chains look like they're the original chain. Believe it or not, they're still in good shape. Typically New Holland has pretty crappy Chinese made chains. I try to repair these chains with Diamond brand chains. Sprockets are getting a little bit pointed, so, but I'm not going to replace those right now. Maybe next year. Maybe, you know, take it back apart. I'm obviously out in the field. I want to get this thing back together today. Just more bunch of wrenching than anything else. So this, and then basically you just drift this shaft back and forth. That's how you get this pickup apart. You got to take about 3 of those bands off on each side, and probably the most difficult thing is just pounding those pins out, those grooved pins, and that's it. So gonna get back at it. What's interesting is, so I've had my BR730 baler for 16 years and never done anything to the pickup. And they were always laughing at me at the New Holland dealer, said you needed a bigger commercial size baler. And you know, it's just interesting that went out. This baler doesn't have the bales on it at all compared to my other baler, and it's newer. But and why just that one piece went out, I don't know. I also got some of these rollers, some new rollers. I got one new of these, and yeah, so That's that right there. Got another cam follower. But I don't think I'm going to put that on right now either. So, alrighty. We'll talk to you later. Yeah, I got to get the timing here of these rollers. That shaft goes through there. There's a grooved pin right there that you pound in. It's not a roll pin, it's a grooved pin. And I'm going to slide this into that track, see if we can get it timed. Okay, next morning I had to quit and go deliver hay last night, but this is where you realize you took off way more crap than you needed to. These, I had actually called dealer. The mechanic told me what to do. I could not get this thing on with, you know, this way, but these rollers, these flanges that the rollers bolt on have to be pointing forward as they're at the top. So my recommendation would be, number one, do what I tried to do originally, is don't take all these bands and tine guards off. Get about the first 3 or 4 bands off. I would, this hole right here, that is so that you can unbolt these rollers. I would just take all the damn rollers off, put this piece back on without the rollers. Because I had every one, I had to take the roller off, line it up with this hole, and get it flipped around backwards. If not, then it's pointing the wrong direction. They bind together right here, and the teeth also then are hitting up here. And when you mount the tine bars to it, it does it all wrong. But this is a case where maybe I should have took a picture, several pictures before I took the thing apart. So now it's rolling without binding, and it's not together yet, but we'll see. And I went and got some new hardware. I mean, they're all 3/8 style bolts. That's why I say style, because they're 3/8, but if you like to have a 5/8 head and 11/16 head on a different size and having to switch wrenches all the time, then use the same crap that comes off this baler. Otherwise, I did go get some grade 5 bolts. I got some untreated bolts yesterday, and I think my impact bent them. They're pretty cheap. I got some furled lock nuts. I do got some lock washers also. So I just went and bought some new hardware to make it easy. I'd like to know, do you guys think this mounting is normal? It's not right at 540, but it's close. See how that baler's bouncing? Not lower RPM. The machine's gonna bounce around, but idle. What do you guys think? Are my fields ready?